Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well and are ready to receive the guidance that Spirit has for you today. In today's reading, the Ace of Pentacles has appeared, and this is one of the most beautiful cards to receive when it comes to new beginnings, abundance, and long-term stability. This card carries the energy of fresh opportunities, divine blessings, and the chance to build a life that feels both secure and meaningful. The first message coming through is about your relationship with money and success. For many of you, you've spent a large part of your life believing that financial success would finally bring the happiness you've been searching for. You've worked incredibly hard, sacrificed your time, pushed through exhaustion, and stayed focused on achieving your goals because society often teaches us that the more money we earn, the happier and more successful we become. There's nothing wrong with wanting financial stability. In fact, the Ace of Pentacles encourages you to create a secure foundation for yourself. However, Spirit wants to remind you that true abundance goes far beyond what's sitting in your bank account. Some of you may have reached financial milestones you once dreamed of, only to discover that your heart still feels empty. You may have realized that while money can provide comfort, freedom, and opportunities, it cannot replace genuine peace, meaningful relationships, good health, self-love, or a deep connection with your purpose. The universe is inviting you to redefine what abundance truly means. Real wealth is waking up each morning feeling grateful for your life. It's having people who genuinely care about you. It's enjoying good health, emotional peace, spiritual growth, and doing work that aligns with your soul rather than simply paying the bills. For others, watching this reading, I'm picking up a completely different message. Some of you have been carrying the heavy burden of financial stress for quite some time. There may have been unexpected expenses, job loss, delayed opportunities, debt, or simply feeling like no matter how hard you worked, nothing seemed to improve. It may have felt as though every door was closing just as you were trying to move forward. If that's your situation, Spirit wants you to know that this difficult cycle is beginning to come to an end. The Ace of Pentacles is often described as a divine gift from the universe. It's the seed of something that has the potential to grow into lasting prosperity. But like any seed, it requires patience, faith, and consistent effort. The Eight of Swords has appeared as a powerful reminder that the only prison stronger than physical walls is the one created by fear, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs. This card is inviting you to recognize that many of the obstacles standing in your way are not as permanent or powerful as they seem. While your circumstances may feel overwhelming at times, you have far more control than you realize. The key is to shift your perspective, trust yourself, and remember that the door to freedom has been within your reach all along. This is your moment to set yourself free. Free your mind from negative thinking. Free your body from habits or situations that drain your energy, and free your spirit from the expectations, opinions, or judgments of others. Release the belief that you have to stay stuck because of your past, your mistakes, or your current circumstances. You are not defined by fear, and you are not meant to remain trapped in cycles that no longer serve your highest good. The Eight of Swords also highlights the importance of clear and intentional communication. You are being encouraged to express yourself with honesty, confidence, and purpose. There may be conversations you've been avoiding, emotions you've been suppressing, or truths you've been afraid to acknowledge. Holding everything inside only creates more tension and keeps you feeling restricted. Speaking your truth with compassion and authenticity will help dissolve misunderstandings, strengthen important relationships, and bring a greater sense of peace. As you move through this period, you may notice emotional shifts that seem intense or unexpected. Rather than resisting these feelings, allow them to guide you. Your emotions are not here to weaken you. They are offering valuable insight into what needs healing, changing, or releasing. These emotional experiences may also awaken your creativity, inspire new ideas, or give you the courage to stand up for yourself in ways you never have before. There is something deep within your heart that has been waiting to be acknowledged and expressed. Whether it's a dream you've postponed, boundaries you've struggled to set, forgiveness you've needed to offer, or words you've long wanted to say, now is the time to honor your inner voice. Trust that your truth deserves to be heard and that your perspective has value. This card is also a reminder not to let fear of judgment, rejection, or failure silence you. Often, the stories we tell ourselves about what might happen are far more limiting than reality itself. The moment you choose courage over fear, you begin to reclaim your personal power. Every small step you take toward honesty, self-belief, and authenticity weakens the chains that once held you back. With the Ten of Wands, the message centers around social connections, meaningful conversations, and emotional release. This is a period where you may feel more inclined to share your thoughts, ideas, or personal experiences with others. Whether it's opening up to close friends, strengthening family bonds, reconnecting with someone important, or becoming more involved within a community, communication plays a significant role in your journey. You may discover that expressing what's been on your mind brings not only relief, but also valuable support, encouragement, and new perspectives. At its core, however, the Ten of Wands represents the completion of a demanding chapter. It reflects the weight you've been carrying, whether that's emotional stress, responsibilities, expectations, or burdens you've taken on for yourself or others. You've likely been pushing forward for quite some time, handling more than most people realize. Now, you're reaching a turning point where you recognize that you don't have to carry everything alone. This card encourages you to release what no longer serves you and create space for a lighter, healthier future. You're not the same person you were months or even years ago. Life has shaped you through challenges, setbacks, victories, and valuable lessons. As you continue to grow, your priorities are naturally shifting. The things that once seemed important may no longer resonate, while new goals and aspirations begin to take center stage. You're evolving into a stronger, wiser, and more self-aware version of yourself. And with that transformation comes a desire to build a life that reflects who you truly are today. This card also highlights a growing awareness of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. You may feel inspired to adopt healthier daily habits, improve your nutrition, exercise more consistently, establish a better sleep routine, or simply create a lifestyle that leaves you feeling more energized and balanced. Rather than making temporary changes, you're seeking sustainable habits that support your long-term happiness and overall quality of life. Beyond your physical health, you're also becoming more selective about the people and environments you allow into your life. The Ten of Wands encourages you to evaluate your relationships and ask yourself whether they bring mutual support, peace, and growth. You may naturally distance yourself from draining dynamics while investing more energy into friendships, partnerships, and professional connections that feel authentic, encouraging, and emotionally fulfilling. The appearance of this card suggests that significant change is approaching. Although the road ahead may still require effort, you're much closer to the finish line than you realize. The challenges you've faced have been preparing you for the next chapter, one where you'll have greater clarity, confidence, and emotional resilience. Rather than focusing solely on the obstacles directly in front of you, keep your attention on the bigger picture. Every step you're taking now is leading you toward greater freedom, stability, and personal fulfillment. This is also an excellent time to invest in yourself, not only financially, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Consider learning new skills, exploring personal development, practicing mindfulness, spending time in nature, or creating healthy routines that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. The more you prioritize your own well-being, the more you'll have to offer both yourself and those around you. The King of Wands energy here is about delayed action finally transforming into purposeful movement, but it carries a lot more depth than just, they are ready now. This person is experiencing a kind of inner reckoning. They are looking back at the time that has passed and realizing that opportunities for honesty, clarity, or action were there before, but they didn't step into them. Not necessarily out of lack of feeling, but because the timing wasn't aligned internally. At that earlier stage, they may have had desire, attraction, or emotional connection, but they lacked the stability, confidence, or direction to act on it in a grounded way. Now, the emotional landscape has shifted. Over time, those unacted feelings didn't disappear. Instead, they settled into something deeper and more persistent. That's why even after distance, silence, or delay, they haven't fully moved on. The connection has stayed mentally and emotionally active in the background of their life, which is often what happens when someone suppresses action but not emotion. The key turning point with the King of Wands is realization paired with urgency. This person is starting to feel that continuing to wait, hesitate, or observe from a distance is no longer sustainable. There's a growing internal pressure to do something with what they feel, rather than just carrying it. The King of Wands doesn't stay in analysis or fantasy. This energy wants expression, direction, and visible movement. But it's important to understand what kind of action this actually represents. It may not be perfectly planned or emotionally flawless. The King of Wands is bold, sometimes impulsive, but driven by conviction. So when this energy finally activates, it often comes as a clear decision. Reaching out, making intentions known, trying to re-establish contact, or stepping forward in a more confident and direct way than before. However, there is also an undercurrent of self-awareness forming here. They are not the same version of themselves who originally hesitated. Time has changed them. The delay has created reflection, and that reflection has either strengthened their desire or clarified what they truly want. I'm also getting the Two of Pentacles showing up strongly here, and it adds an important layer to what's already unfolding. This energy suggests that in the past, this person was not fully emotionally grounded or stable when it came to you. Instead of creating a clear emotional direction, they were constantly managing things, balancing responsibilities, distractions, personal confusion, or even multiple priorities in their life. Because of that, their communication with you came off as inconsistent and often situational rather than heartfelt. It was like they could talk around the connection, but not truly step into it. I feel that in earlier stages, they did try to communicate, but it stayed on a surface level. Most of what they expressed was practical, everyday talk, casual check-ins, or conversations that avoided emotional depth. They were present in words at times, but emotionally absent in intention. And that created a lot of confusion for you because your energy was the opposite: open, honest, and emotionally transparent. Communication did exist between the two of you, but it was unstable. It wasn't consistent enough to build real emotional security. One moment they were engaged, and the next they pulled back or became unclear again. This push and pull pattern is very aligned with the Two of Pentacles energy. Someone trying to keep balance without actually confronting what they feel. What's important now is that this person is beginning to realize that imbalance. There is a growing awareness that they cannot continue avoiding emotional clarity and expect things to remain the same. Something in their current mindset has shifted, and they are starting to understand the emotional weight of what was left unspoken between you. Because of that realization, they are now considering, quite seriously, the idea of having a direct, honest, and unfiltered conversation with you. Not a casual check-in, not a surface-level interaction, but something more grounded and real. They are thinking about finally saying what they avoided before, even if it feels uncomfortable for them. And interestingly, this is not just a passing thought anymore. It feels like they've reached a point of internal decision-making. There is a sense that they've weighed things mentally for a long time, going back and forth, just like the Two of Pentacles. And now they are leaning toward action rather than continued avoidance. Communication feels like the first step they believe they need to take if anything between you and them is ever going to shift. They also fully recognize something very important about you. You were always emotionally honest. You didn't leave things vague. You didn't play games with your feelings. You expressed what you wanted, how you felt, and where you stood. Your emotional energy was consistent, even when the situation itself wasn't. Thank you so much for watching. See you in next reading.